Greetings, everyone. Two high-profile games came out the last couple of weeks. We're starting off with our Batman Arkham Origins impressions, in which pretty much it's me, Jamie, and John.
Well, you mean it's not Assassin's Creed 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts?
Oh, you mean the same
Phoenix,
game? You mean the same games that were the last time?
Phoenix
No,
Wright.
actually, I hear Assassin's
Phoenix
Creed
Wright.
Black Flag is pretty good as a pirate game.
Phoenix Wright.
No.
No.
No,
Oh.
what
But
about
that's
the
actually-
new
it's
BlazBlue
actually-
game?
It's actually funny that you make that critique, Ryan, for those two games because that's pretty much how I feel about Origins.
Yeah,
If
Me
we're
too.
just gonna jump-
True.
If we're gonna just jump the gun a bit here, all right. At this point in time, you've beaten it, Ryan.
I've
Cool.
100% of the main story. Yes.
All right.
Oh, I've done all the side missions, gotten all the Enigma packs.
Of course
Yeah.
you would.
And I've taken you've beaten the game too, Clement.
I too have also gotten all the Enigma packs and stuff. The only thing I haven't really done is play New Game Plus or I Am the Knight.
Yeah,
But
well, I Am the Night is just hard mode where you only get one life. It's Dante Must Die mode.
yeah,
And New Game Plus is stupid. Instead of making it hard, they just throw a ton of padded and ninjutsu enemies at you. So it just turns into a counter battle.
and you can't see the counters.
The
Yeah.
game. Let's play Heavy Rain in a Batman costume.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
so
who's Batman?
Jason.
Son of a bitch.
Jason Todd.
Press X to Jason that thug's face in.
Oh man.
Oh, that needs to be a thing now. Press X to Jason Todd.
Yeah, about Arkham Origins, it's the same as Arkham City. It's a lot more glitchy. There's a lot of technical fuck ups with this one.
I was gonna go into
Arkham
you guys-
Asylum have froze once for me. Arkham City
We-
never froze for me.
we brought
This
up
has
that-
frozen me three. This has frozen on me 3 times.
Ryan, you've beaten the game. Colette, you've beaten the game. I have yet to beat the game. The game has frozen me a total of 6 fucking times on one playthrough. I just downloaded the patch for the game this morning, and I played about an hour of it, and I haven't had any freezing issues yet. But that terrified the fuck out of me. Especially, you finish a mission or
It starts to autosave and then freezes.
it starts auto saving and then
Wait,
And I
hold
can't
on.
move
Did
anywhere.
does the autosave save, or do you have to redo all that shit?
no the autos. I've only had one time where the game froze on me while it was in the middle of saving something. Luckily, my save file wasn't corrupted, but when I had to reboot the game after the freeze after it saved, the save went through. It's just that terrifies the fuck out of you
Yeah.
because that's the last thing I want to see right now is that I make about 7 to 8 hours of progression and I get a corrupted
file
save
corrupt.
file because it freezes.
I have a question. Is this a problem exclusive to the PS3 version, or is it
No,
both
John
systems?
has a 360 version, so.
Okay,
From what I've read, when it comes to stability, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, the PS3 version is not that bad. The Wii U version I hear is actually the most stable.
And it still freezes.
Yeah, and the 360 I hear is the worst. Which is the
Interesting.
version I
It only
Alright.
froze badly in one area of the city for me, and that's where it froze all 3 of the times. The rest of the time, at worst, it just kind of slowed down and got choppy.
Right.
well,
only-
I
the
think-
only-
I think-
the only
I think a
partic-
bad frame rate is consistent to all the versions of the game.
The only other particular glitch I found is I was on the ground beating up some guys when all of a sudden a climb prompt command popped up in the middle of the street. So Batman just jumped about 10 feet in the air and just stood there above everyone.
Climbing that invisible wall.
You didn't
I
climb
am
the
the
air.
knight.
Batman forgot how to
Speak-
physics.
Speaking of the city, that seems to be the big quote unquote change to this game. Is
Nothing.
that
It's copy pasted from Arkham City.
it's like the play area is supposed to be a lot wider.
No, it's
And-
not.
It
No, it's
is
not.
well, it is noticeably bigger than Arkham City, but
But
when it
it's-
comes to the Arkham City area, It's the
copy
exact
pasted.
same
It's
area.
copy pasted.
Well,
I mean,
didn't
great.
Arkham City actually have like a big old city area outside its boundaries that you could fly into if you glitched past the walls?
Yeah.
Sort of. Yeah.
Like it wasn't coated with any solid land to land
Yeah,
on or
it's
anything, but
pretty
there
much
was
what
a
that
city
is.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arkham Origins pretty much made that area playable, like
I
everything past the bridge and beyond. So
Yeah, like
Arkham
Gotham
is
City is
definitely
basically
different.
two islands. The North Island is Arkham City,
City.
and the South Island is like the new area. But like, if you go through Arkham City, you can literally find every landmark that was in the previous game. You can find the Iceberg Lounge. You can find the courthouse. You can
The
find
church.
the alleyway.
The church.
Yeah, the alleyway where Batman's parents died. Like, it's all still there.
Yeah, it's like they barely touch it. Besides from since it takes place during Christmas, that it has some seasonal touches to it. But other than that, it's the exact same thing.
Oh, so this is Batman Arkham City Festival of Blood.
Okay, I just got a horrible. I
It's-
got a horrible thought, but you know the chalk outline that they put around dead bodies. I imagine that for Bruce Wayne's parents, but now it's only Christmas lights.
There's a little Santa chalk.
Santa chalk hats.
Yeah,
Oh Jesus!
yeah. I did get a lot of Batman Returns vibes from this though.
If only because of its Christmas setting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they're also dealing with the fact that Batman is a vigilante in this one, right? So, kind of a similar theme there too. Maybe it was intentional.
It was a simpler time for the Dark Knight when
He hated everyone.
you didn't have to worry about a chunk of the city being converted into an asylum where thugs ran about. Instead, he had to deal with an entire fucking city where thugs ran about. Is it me or is Gotham more dangerous then as it is now?
And I love their excuse as to why there are no civilians on there too. A severe weather warning is in effect. We advise all the citizens to please stay indoors.
Well,
It's
why
like-
would the thugs be out if there's no one to thugatize?
That's the point. There's only
Not to mention, I've been in a big city during a huge weather storm. People are stupid. They go outside anyway.
Yeah, but it's like that's such a stupid excuse as to why there are no civilians out.
It also makes no sense in the story scope because Alfred makes a really good point to Batman that, you know, if you stay in the Batcave all night, they can't collect the bounty on you and kill you. And then Batman's like, I can't take that chance. The civilians are in danger. I have to protect them. And it's like, there are no civilians.
But maybe they got to them all already.
Uh, that's a case of the game and the game's story just not meshing very well, really. But one of the complaints I've heard about the city itself is it's too big with too little to do in it. Is that right?
There's nothing to do in it.
Right. Yeah.
There's thugs to beat up,
And
and
that's about
thugs
it.
to beat up,
It-
and thugs to
Thugs
beat
to be
up.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just seems to me like they're falling for that old video game design pitfall where they want to make the sequel bigger and better, and all they wind up producing is Haven City.
There is literally nothing to do in the city.
Yeah, out of all the things, because I'm handling Origins the same way I've handled City, where I don't immediately go for the main objective. I take
Yeah,
time to sidetrack.
There are some good side missions, but ultimately that's no different than how they did in the city. It's just go to the marker and do it.
I realized though about like 5 hours in where I'm destroying the 50th Enigma relay tower, and it's like, wow, this is
These are Joker balloons.
like this is not fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That's another Haven City thing is go to the marker. How far apart are the markers from where you usually find them? Or from where
It
you usually are?
depends on what you're going for.
Hold on,
Yeah,
ignorant dipshit moment here. What the fuck is Haven City?
Jack
Jack
2's
2.
Hub City area. Yeah,
It's so
y-
barren and there's nothing to do in it.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you know, it was a nice concept, and they bring it back in the third game, but everything that you need to get to is always closer to where you were when you need to get to it, so it's a lot more streamlined. But
Traveling
it-
through the city, traveling through the city is really not an issue because unlike City, you have access now to your Batwing.
Mm.
You know, which is immediately. Well, you got to destroy the comm tower first to gain access to that point.
In each area,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, do you spend a lot of time just going from place to place?
yeah.
Or-
Pretty much.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's sandbox games. That's something that they really should be watching out for when they design them now, because that can make them very boring very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't find it that bad though.
It's-
To be
it's
honest,
not-
'Cause I
the-
do like gliding around the city.
Yeah, it's not awful, but it's just like there's nothing to do here.
Yeah, it's just like I thought Arkham City was about the right size for a Batman game.
Yeah.
So when I heard they were
Yeah.
making it bigger, I was a bit about it.
Yeah, they realized that too because I think that's why they gave us access to the Batwing in the first place.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
but the fact that you have to like destroy the electronic interference from the comm towers to even access the Batwing points in the first place. Make
Stupid.
the first
Well,
time.
no, I don't mind that because that's sort of how Banjo-Tooie did it. And that's, obviously this is a much smaller N64 game, but basically once you find a landmark or a point, you can warp there whenever you want. So really, I don't mind that because it makes you explore the city once, but then if you want to go back to a certain place, you can just warp there. You know, that I don't mind that so much, as long as the warp points aren't too far apart from each other, or certain things that you need to go to aren't too far away from a warp.
And like I said, I don't mind it too much because I do get a kick out of gliding throughout the city and stuff like that. It's just that when you're on your 4th or 5th comm tower, it starts to wear on you a bit.
Yeah.
So shall we move on? What is probably the best part of the game, because it's the only thing that tries anything, is the story.
Is Batman the least interesting thing about the game?
No,
Surprisingly.
that would be Copperhead.
Copperhead.
What?
I at this point in time, from what I've played, I've just encountered Joker for the first time, where where one of the big plot twists are revealed.
Even though we all saw that coming.
Yeah, even you know, it pisses me off in a sense, really.
It was like you put all this build up that Black Mask put a hit on Batman. It's like, then do something with Black Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I just feel like the Joker was put in because he's the Joker, and you know, it's kind of like Wolverine. Really, he's overplayed.
No, I would have liked it if they
like
like what they did with Mad Hatter. If he was there just kind of being a pain, but not really involved.
Yeah.
Even in Arkham City, like, Hugo Strange and Ra's al Ghul was behind the whole thing, and Joker just happened to be, like, a big part of it eventually.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't Joker's plan, the Arkham City, but he was part of it, and he did get involved in Batman's life. And this, it's like, oh, Black Mask has it out for Batman. I wonder what's up with that. And you're interested to learn about Black Mask and all these assassins that he's hired, because, you know, they're kind of newish Batman villains that you don't really fight all the time. I've never heard of Copperhead or the Electrocutioner before this game.
Well, the Electrocutioner is just like a quilt man from Spider-Man.
You mean Shocker?
Yeah, Shocker.
Well, his
really
boss fight surely
stupid
reflected that.
Yeah.
yeah, I did
I'm gonna
like
get you,
yeah.
Batman! Punch!
I haven't actually beaten Arkham City, but I have spoiled the entire story, and I do like the Joker's role in that game. It seems
here,
like about
here they put him a bit too high as far as importance goes.
Mhm.
Mind you, just to be fair, Troy Baker does an excellent Mark Hamill impression.
Well, Troy Baker's just a good VA in general.
Yeah, he's been killing it this year.
What do you guys think of Roger Craig Smith as Batman?
It's
I
Chris
like him,
Redfield
I
in
just-
a Batman suit.
Exactly.
Wait,
Exactly.
wait,
I
hang
couldn't
on.
help but I couldn't help
Craig Smith,
is Batman.
Batman,
Yes,
and Sonic, and Ezio, and who else?
Chris Redfield.
Chris Redfield.
Chris Redfield.
Come on, Robin, gotta speed up.
He sounds like Clement took the words right out of my mouth. He sounds like Chris Redfield in a Batman suit.
Even like when he's
and
grinning
they're-
in
and
certain cutscenes, like the way his teeth and his facial structure is, I could swear Chris Redfield's in the Batman suit.
or when he's trying to be really intimidating, and it's like, no, you can't be a Christian Bale. Because there are a few
Wait.
times where he tries to get all growly and raspy. So I can tell someone in the directing booth told him to scale it back a bit.
Well, you notice
Are
how his
there-
Batman suit's sort of like the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, where it's like got a kind of a body armor, like black thing going on. Whereas in the previous Arkham games, it was like, you know, comic booky. Now it's sort of like a Dark Knight kind of outfit.
I really don't like the Origins outfit. I'm going to say that now. It peeves me off when they try to give the
That thing
bat
gets
suit
so many
on.
fucking holes by the time you finish the game. He has no business gliding around.
How the hell does he glide? I can understand from a prequel aspect why the armor is so goddamn bulky to begin with, because I'm also on and off with the armor itself. It makes sense for like in the future games in terms of the timeline that Batman would switch up to some Kevlar reinforced latex. But I don't mind it because it's an Origin game, and even then, there's like so many damn costumes you can unlock via challenges, or
Adam West.
if you have the PS3 version, you have the Adam West skin and
And Nightfall.
the anti-hero 90s Nightfall costume I can't
Yeah.
stand.
It looks like Zurg from Toy Story.
Oh man.
Now you will never be able to. Now you know you. Yeah, now you will never be unable to
You
see
can't
that.
unsee this.
Yeah.
But you
yeah,
were saying the story was like the best part, but honestly, I think there was a little bit of a disconnect where like when the last game ended, it had so many cliffhangers. You know, Joker dying. There was the Hush subplot. There was this little
Yeah.
Scarecrow hint that Scarecrow was going to do something in the third game, and so when they announced this was going to be a prequel, like Batman in Year One, before
It's
you know.
basically Batman Year One, the game.
Yeah, but like I wanted all those cliffhangers from the last game to be resolved, and now Joker's alive again, and there's no hint that anyone is going to
You-
die because
know
you
what
know
this
they're going to be
reminds me
alive in
of?
the next game.
You know what that reminds me of? Metal Gear Solid. The second game ended with so many cliffhangers and everything, and then the third game was a fucking prequel from the Cold
No.
War.
I
And you-
think I think it's pretty obvious at this point, and I think we may have mentioned this in some other videos earlier, but this game is a quick cash-in,
Yeah.
without a
pretty
doubt.
Yeah.
Because
It doesn't do anything new.
The first red flag was that it was announced 6 months before it was released. With Arkham City, we got
much.
a teaser as soon as a few months after Arkham Asylum came out.
Yeah.
We had 2 years of hype after that, and then suddenly it's like March,
A year and a half, March, and then
April.
suddenly Arkham Origins gets announced for this
Yeah,
year.
and it's like, oh, where did this come from? And then I realized, oh, wait a minute. It's like this game's coming out this year, or is this the first time we're hearing about it? Okay, this is a quick cash in, or
It's ultimate as far as quick cash-ins go. It's not bad. It's just it does nothing
Eh.
new.
Well,
It's
there's
the
also the
Ezio
fact.
series of the Batman franchise.
Well, what also sort of amplifies the quick cash-in aspect of it is that they shunted this over to a different team so that the other team could make something else.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I can,
I've read articles saying that Rocksteady is
Working on
in
it.
the development on the next game.
Yeah, there are rumors going about as to what it's supposed to be, but
Yeah,
it doesn't put a whole lot of confidence in the player's mind when you hear that they put this out to the B studio so that the A studio can make something different. You know.
yeah.
Well, you know, that's
It-
not exactly an uncommon thing in game franchises.
yeah,
So-
like the Call of Duty franchise itself. Actually, if it's not Infinity Ward making
It's
one game.
Treyarch.
Well, that's also a yearly. That's also a yearly thing, though. That's been going on for nearly a decade now. The Batman. This is like this is only the third game in the series, so it's. I think it's a little bit different than that.
Well,
It's just very glaring how
no.
much this feels like an expansion pack as well, because like the things you're doing in this game, you know, the stealth sections, the beat 'em up combat, it's exactly the same as Arkham City, and all of the new gadgets that you acquire are not new gadgets. You get like a glue
Glue
grenade.
bomb. That's the freeze bomb from Arkham City.
It's the freeze bomb, but it's like now it's glue. You know, you find a thing that disrupts people's guns and makes it turn off, but that was in the last game. You know, like these aren't new gadgets. They're exactly the same that was in Arkham City. So the gameplay doesn't feel new at all. You don't feel like you're playing with a gadget that you've never
Yeah.
had before. So it just feels like, okay, it's Arkham City again. It's more
Well,
of that.
I think part of that might also be due to the prequel nature, because if you give Batman the super duper nuke gun in the prequel, you have to explain why he doesn't have that in the next two games. You know, so
yeah.
they,
there's that.
that's just part of the reason why they didn't need this. I don't think this needed a prequel. You know, it seems like a waste of time. A prequel is inherently sort of a waste of time in a lot of ways.
Granted, though, the whole argument that the Origins feels too much like City is something that really only affects people that have been playing the series since Asylum. Like,
Yeah.
let's say if you had to,
If this is your first you're just
If it's
picked
your
up a
first
Batman
Batman
game
game,
on a
you're-
whim.
you're not gonna notice any of that. But even then, if I had to compare the latest two games, I'd say you have a better time with City
Yeah.
than you would Origins.
If it weren't for if it weren't for all the technical fuck ups, I'd say it's around the same level as Asylum. In terms of just being fun and
Yeah.
engaging.
Like the combat's the same as Arkham City, and I love the
Yeah,
combat.
the
so
combat,
it's still great.
it's all the same stuff. So the combat is still fun. The stealth is still fun.
I'm not sure if it's just me though. I had a harder time chaining combos this time around though.
Well, that's because
I
there are so
swear
many
the-
more. Because there's more enemies that can counter you this time.
It's not just that. I swear the thugs are a hell of a lot faster in this.
They're a
game.
lot more aggressive, I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can always tell when the mook is going to approach you and the counter symbol shows up. But even then, there are times where, you know,
I swear I hit the button and he hits me.
it's not really I can do about it. You know, granted, the mooks are finally showing common sense and rushing
Rushing
you,
him.
which is good for their side, but not good for the player's side. But too many times where I can barely reach like a 30 chain combo. I used to get them all the time in City and Asylum, and this game is giving me a really hard time with that.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the boss fights? Or I guess
Yeah,
Ryan.
you mean okay, so I guess we can just go down the list. Deathstroke was actually probably the best one.
Deathstroke definitely was the best boss fight.
I did enjoy for the most part, especially after I found out I could just spam the damn bat rope.
Yeah.
They did something relevant with Slade? Really?
Yeah.
Sorta. He shows up one time, and
You
then he
beat him.
shows up again at the ending, and that's it.
Yeah.
I sense another Catwoman fiasco. Guy is heavily marketed, and he only appears twice.
But no, Deathstroke was easily the best boss fight. At Copperhead was just another
At
beat
least
'em.
Catwoman is playable.
Yeah. Well, Deathstroke's playable in challenge maps, but
Ah.
let's see. Copperhead was a waste of time. It was just another beat up. That was stupid.
Yeah,
Who else was there?
there was Bane.
2 Bane fights. Yeah.
I don't.
Again?
Okay. I'm gonna ask this. What is so fucking special about Bane? I don't get it.
He's a big tough guy that they can use.
Yeah, but
He's an
he's
an
the most
Incredible Hulk
boring
in a
bat-
luchador mask.
Yeah, but the Incredible Hulk is more interesting than Bane. Bane has to be the most boring villain in the entire Batman roster, and yet they keep on putting him in everything. I don't get it.
Because he broke Batman's spine once. That
No,
makes him badass.
Oh, back in the 90s.
Now, the
when
reason they
nothing
keep
is
putting
more
him in games is because he can be a physical threat. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing they really don't play up though when it comes to games is Bane's intelligence.
Well, they
The
do
Bane's
that. They do
supposed-
that. They do that in this one.
I'd
Yeah,
imagine
he's a
they
lot
would.
better in this game.
Yeah, I'd imagine they would in this game. I haven't gotten to that point yet, but you know, it's one thing.
He
Asylum
does
City-
figure out Batman's identity in this one.
Yeah, and that's what he's supposed to be. And that's what made him infamous to begin with. Bane is not just a brute, strong guy. He's also very intelligent, dangerous. He's a strategist and stuff like
And
that.
that's
But they
why in Origin, Asylum even, he keeps running into walls.
don't. I know, but that's the point I'm making. God damn it, they don't play that up.
I always hated his character model in Asylum and City because his head looked like a grapefruit in comparison to his giant bulbous body. But
So he's Chris Redfield.
yeah, basically.
Let's see what other boss fights were there.
Firefly.
Oh, hi, not Poison Ivy.
That one was kind of fun because I liked how you had to keep using all your gadgets. Like you had to bat claw him this time, then glue grenade him this time, and then beat
Yeah,
him
but
up.
it was pretty much just the Poison Ivy fight where you just run around and throw stuff at him.
That sounds like a lot like Mr. Freeze.
There's a Mr. Freeze kind of like with Bane.
Yeah. In the last fight, yeah.
Yeah, you have to sort of sneak up on Bane otherwise, because he's like really roided out as the final boss fight,
Yeah.
and you basically have to sneak up like behind him through vents, through like little gratings, and you have to sort of sneak attack him and drain his health. And I think there's a time limit, but I don't.
There is a time limit, yeah.
If he catches you, does he pick you up and snap your spine on his knee?
As the finishing move, yeah. But if you have health, he'll just like throw you or punch you or something.
Ah.
It's not as good as the Mr. Freeze fight, but it was all right.
Yeah.
I would say Arkham Origins' most terrifying boss is Mr. Freeze. Ran into that fucker like 6 times. Froze my
No,
game.
Mr. Freeze.
I'm sorry, that was terrible. Anyway.
So what do you think of the killing joke segment, Jamie?
It really seemed like they were trying to make us feel like the Joker loves Batman. He's in love with Batman. Like he's just confessing to Harley Quinn or Harleen Quinzel at the time that
yeah.
like, I finally met someone tonight. He saved my life from a dangling tower. You know, like he could have killed me and he didn't. He puts a spark in my life and he's just. And they have this whole sequence where you're playing as Joker
Just
dressed
beating
as the
people.
Red Hood.
Yeah.
He's dressed as the Red Hood, and you're beating up thugs. You're going through this weird, creepy hallway where he sees Batman as a bat dragon monster. Like, he literally doesn't see Batman as a man. He sees him as some kind of freaky creature.
Oh my god, them motherfuckers stole my fan fiction. I got a suit.
It's just one part where Joker gets arrested, and then he goes to the asylum, and we see that, his perspective. It's all right.
Yeah.
I think, again, when I found out Joker was Black Mask this whole time, it was kind of like, oh. And then it was sort of like, they put him on this pedestal where they're giving him his own sequence where he's just, Batman is the greatest thing ever. I have to stay in Gotham and fight Batman forever. He's my greatest enemy now. Because he meets him for the first time in this game, and he's just in love. But, you know.
It sounds like they're trying a bit too hard with the whole
Joker
That's
thing.
how
Joker.
I found it.
Yeah.
it's-
I didn't mind, like I said before, I wouldn't mind Joker being there if he was sort of in like the Mad Hatter sort of way, that he was just kind of there being a pain, but he wasn't involved with the story, he was just sort of a side thing. Because the Mad Hatter thing was actually really cool.
Yeah, Mad Hatter was alright. That was basically the Scarecrow sequence of the game.
Yeah, but it works.
I've completed the Mad Hatter part at this point in time, but is it tradition now at this point that every Arkham game has to have a trip out sequence?
I guess. Well, to be fair,
it's just something I grew up with.
well, to be fair, Mad Hatter has more business doing it than Ra's al Ghul, but yeah, Arkham Origins. Do we have anything else to say about it, or?
If it's your first Batman game, you'll probably really like it. If it's anything past Asylum or City, you'll probably dislike it. There's nothing wrong with the core gameplay. It's just it's more of the same.
And
The prequel story makes it so like when a character like Alfred, oh my God, is Alfred gonna die? No, because he's in Arkham City. You know he's not gonna die. You know, is Bane gonna die? No, because Bane's in Arkham Asylum. You know Bane's not gonna die. Is Joker gonna die? No, because Joker's in Arkham Asylum. You know he's not gonna die. So there's no real like the only plot twist I could think of is that Black Mask is Joker.
Well, and the very 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 post credits scene.
Yeah.
Where
But, like,
Deathstroke joins the Avengers.
sort of.
Ted, damn it!
It may as well be.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep the spoiler free,
We've already spoiled all the plot. Who the fuck
but
cares?
not that one.
No, it's
No one
pretty
would
much
see it
it's
coming.
pretty much a hint for something. I'll put it this way: DC's Nick Fury asked Deathstroke to not join the Not Avengers.
Basically. It's adequate, but I don't think it's really necessary, and I wanted the sequel to City because City had so many cliffhangers. This is a prequel, it's not a sequel. It's fine. If you want a good Batman game, it's good, but it's not great.
I would suggest Arkham Asylum and City before this. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would suggest Arkham Asylum to get yourself familiar with it. Then go to a city, and then you can understand our viewpoint a little better. But I'm pretty much at the same boat. As of now, I still haven't finished the game yet, but I think it's safe to assume what the rest of my adventure is going to be like, especially since I played the living hell out of City.
Yeah.
But you know, individually, it's just fine. Compared to the other games, it's a letdown.
Yeah.
It's more of a holdover thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Hold
if you
over-
really-
hold over-
if-
hold-
if you really, really want another Batman game between City and whatever's next, you can go for Origins, I guess.
That's pretty much
Fine.
what it is. It's just a holdover from how Rocksteady works on whatever they're working on. Whether it
It's
be
basically a glorified expansion pack / DLC. It is its own story. It does have a few new gadgets like the electric gloves and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's basically the same game.
yeah. So Rocksteady, you better be making something that has other than Batman in it.
Doubtful.
How about a
I
well,
would say
I don't. Okay, at the very least, do Justice League.
I'm going to guess here. The next game they're working on is a Batman game, but I think this is where they're going to start making that Justice League transition.
Could be.
Well, knowing how they like to hype up their games, we'll probably get a teaser within 6 months.
Probably.
If they do, that just cements the whole Arkham Origins as a quick cash in
Yeah,
to begin with. We'll find out though in
probably
coming time,
within
so.
a year at the most.
Yes. Yes.
So, all right, that was Batman Arkham Origins. Stay tuned as our next impressions video will be up really soon.
Patch that
Right?
son of a bitch up.
Phoenix, right?
No.
Phoenix. Oh.
No.